This week on Sportsman TV, we're going out with Blue Wave guide Captain Mike Gallo deep into the Biloxi Marsh for feisty redfish. Come go with us.
We're fishing on the eastern edge of Lake Bourne, just fishing the shoreline. We are not far from False Mouth Bayou, and we're just working this shoreline, pockets and points, little cuts and islands. Greg's throwing a high vibration lure, and I'm throwing a low vibration, and so far it doesn't seem to matter. Well, it's got plenty of access, clean water, and there's a good number of fish here, and they're in a variety of sizes. We'll have slot-sized redfish, and we'll have those big bruisers that are just fun to catch. He's a man, let me tell you. Look at him down there. I saw him, buddy.
I just said he needs a friend. He had one. Yeah, you got to love some redfish. Here, this is the way we like to start every episode, double hookups.
That's right.
Let's get them both in there.
All right, all right.
Jared says he's been having trouble getting, you know, when two guys are hooked up at once, so we put them both in the same. Dang it, man.
Oh, boy.
Jared, is that better or is that easier to film when we put them together?
How about that?
Yes, thank you.
What a way to start the morning. That's my coffee.
How about that?
How's that?
Huh. Is that the way to start off your morning?
Over here at Bowie Outfitters, hunting and fishing is our passion. We can help you pick all the right gear for your next fishing trip. We spend time in the woods too, so we know what products to recommend when hunting season comes around. We understand the outdoors and what it takes to have success on your hunting and fishing adventures. So come on down to Bowie Outfitters and let us help get you going. Bowie Outfitters, everything outdoors.
I'm Stephen Parks, and I'd like to introduce you to Blue Wave Boats. It's been founded and owned by the Parks family since 1992. We specialize in building custom, high-performance, quality fishing boats. So there is no more having to settle. Each Blue Wave boat ranks high in every category that matters, from the speed, the quality, the performance, and the features built into the boat. And we've loaded these boats with everything you're going to need to make your day on the water a success every time.
Helping you retire one weekend at a time. Dixie RV.
Man, what a year. What a year. Life-changing. All the way from my home in Louisiana to the Great Lakes up north in Michigan. I did it. You know, I didn't do it by myself. It takes a team, man. It's all about the team. Nobody gets there alone. Nope. Man, thank you, Strike King.
LouisianaSportsman.com is the South's premier hunting and fishing website. Planning a hunting or fishing trip? Visit LouisianaSportsman.com and get up-to-the-date information on weather, tides, or solar data. Our breaking news and continually updating forum will keep you up to date, or visit our report section and ask the locals what's been biting and where. Need to sell or buy an outdoor item? LouisianaSportsman.com's free classifieds are the quickest way for you to reach the outdoor market. LouisianaSportsman.com, the quick way to get the most of the outdoors.
We've spotted one up in this, can I say Trenasse?
Trenasse.
Would this be considered a Trenasse?
A big one, huh?
Magnum, deep water Trenasse we work in here right now. Just froth in the water with these redfish lures. Got him. Oh, God dang it. Dang it. I threw it right in front, let it go to the bottom. When I picked up, he was freaking on there. Like, really?
We have a relatively small tide movement today, and these areas where the water narrows down, it should pick up speed, and hopefully we can find some aggressive fish in there. So far, we've seen several that didn't want what we're giving them, and I think the tide may be in the process of changing from falling to coming in. And hopefully when that water does start to move, they get a little bit more aggressive and we can stick a few because it's getting frustrating. But we're not going to give up.
I like, oh, there he is. You got him, Jerry. Nice.
Exactly. We can see a boil or a V pushing down the shoreline and make sure we cast right in front of him and you know, make sure he sees your presentation, give him the opportunity to strike it. Certainly is a plus when you can see the fish and cast to it.
How about that? Is that a keeper? Don't be sure.
No, I think he's good. He bit aggressively. That's what we call a water fish. Go back in the water.
Freaking flailing around out there behind him. He's running.
Oh, he came off. There's another one on this left point over here.
Okay. Sounds good. You would get them schooled up by the time I'm retying.
That's what we call a jumper. You jump right in the boat.
In my house, we call it supper.
Well, obviously you'll go in Biloxi Bayou itself, and that's a great starting place. Deep water with lots of bayous that shoot off of it, very long. It could take you 2 years just to learn the Biloxi Bayou area itself. And then from there you could move a little east to the False Mouth Bayou area, and it would be similar, where it might take you 2 years to figure out all the ponds and different bayous and trenasses off of it. And then to the west of Bayou Biloxi is Bayou Grande. Similar sort of situation where you have a big bayou that's going into the marsh, and it'll just have a bunch of smaller bayous and then trenasses, duck ponds. And by working it over, you'll be forced to fish sometimes with an east wind, sometimes a west, a north, a south, an incoming tide, a falling tide, clean water, dirty water. You'll have all those variables, because when you finally get a chance to go, you don't want to say, well, I don't know how to catch fish on a falling tide. I've only fished a rising tide. You need to work it all. I used to say you have to have 16 consecutive good, consistent spots to fish, which sounds like a lot, but it breaks down to 4 for every wind direction.
Oh, booger red.
What are you doing out there in the middle?
You know what? I think he's gonna make it. I think he's
Join
gonna make
the team.
I think he's gonna make the hit list. This ain't purring like a kitten. I do that, Jerry, because I like for him to go to sleep right before I put him on ice.
Oh, that's next year's version. He'll be ready in October. We'll be back for you. I'll be back. There we go.
I thought I spooked him. I thought I messed it up because I jerked that bait. It had some grass on it and he kind of run. He couldn't stand that naked rage blade, Jerry. You know, the deal is like a bass on steroids. You know, typically they bite better than a bass. And what I mean by that, you know, they're not as hard to catch. And the thing about it is when you catch one, it's like catching 3 or 4 bass. They pull so hard. It's violent. The other cool thing about them is you can catch them on dead bait, live bait, artificial bait. They'll bite a topwater bait. I mean, they're a user-friendly sporting fish. I don't know, and we just have the environment for it. You know, we have miles of it. There's no doubt the best red fishing on the planet, you know, is on our coastline. And pretty much from one side of it to the other, I've had the opportunity to, you know, fish from the East Coast, the middle, the west, you know, all of Louisiana, and the red fishing is just freaking superb from one side to the other. Now, with that being said, I like to think that in our area, what I consider our area, you know, with a couple hour radius of my house, which would happen to also be right beside that Mississippi River, I think is the best. I mean, I'm just, you know, I know that river is a cesspool, but it does seem like that the fishing's pretty chalky around it. Whether you're, you know, I mean, the bass fishing at Venice is probably, when it's on and we haven't had a storm, is as good or better than any place in the state. The red fishing's good, the catfish are giant. You saw some trout line in action of that. I know that, you know, the Mississippi River is the root of all evil in our area, but it sure seems like it makes the fishing good.
Bowie Outfitters is your one-stop shop for all types of outdoor cooking. Tailgating? We've got Bayou Classic barbecue pits and King Cooker jambalaya pots. If frying's your favorite, check out R&V Works Cajun fryers and Cajun injector products to keep meat moist and flavorful. Black iron skillets are key in a southern kitchen, and Bowie carries a big selection of Lodge cast iron, plus Bayou Classic pots for your next crawfish boil. Come to Bowie Outfitters and let us get you cooking. Bowie Outfitters, everything outdoors.
For camping, fishing, hunting, or anything outdoors, bring along Arctic Ice. Simply freeze these versatile cooler packs and they're ready to keep your food and drinks cold throughout your outing. Arctic Ice can maintain in a cooler 60% longer than the equal weight of regular ice, and with no more mess or soggy food. Arctic Ice is clean and easy. Alaskan Series can maintain a sub 40-degree cooler for days, and the Tundra Series can keep game frozen till it gets home. Preserve an Arctic refuge in your cooler. Choose Arctic Ice.
Don't just be a sportsman, look like one too. Men, women, kids, everyone wants to look like a good sport. And now you can find it all in one place without leaving the house. Our popular Sportsman brand apparel and accessories are just a click away at forsportsman.com. T-shirts, caps, polarized sunglasses, jewelry, tumblers, and more are available in a variety of sizes and colors. It's easy to show the world that you are a sportsman. Visit forsportsman.com today and get that perfect sportsman item for yourself or as a gift for that sportsman in your life.
The excitement builds for the 2015 CCA Star Tournament. This year's Star is loaded with new ways to win your share of over $1.5 million in prizes, including Tag Trout Division and more paid places for heaviest trout.
Believe it or not, I actually won.
Over 108 days of fishing with over 25 inshore and offshore divisions. We have something for everyone. Be the first to catch a tag redfish and win a new Chevy Silverado. Enter now for just $30 by registering at ccastar.com. Share in the passion and serve our coast.
Louisiana's coastal lakes and bays are dotted with small islands north of the barrier islands that are composed of mangroves and seashells that provide vital habitat for coastal birds and fish. Unfortunately, these smaller islands are rapidly eroding and sinking just like their big brother barrier islands to the south. During the 2010 BP oil spill, many of these small islands were very heavily oiled, limiting their fisheries and their bird production during that time. Losing these islands reduces fisheries production, increases wave action, and reduces water quality. The Theodore Roosevelt Conservation Partnership, working with other conservation groups across Louisiana and across the Gulf, has identified several smaller islands that can be restored using oil spill penalty dollars. Restoring these islands can help give coastal birds, fish, and fishermen vital habitat for decades to come. For more information on how you can help, please log on to the TRCP website at www.trcp.org.
This is a Blue Wave Pure Bay 2400. Obviously in the guide business, a boat's like a tool, and it really fits for what I do. I can cross open water. Lake Bourne is 10 miles wide. I cross that open water, and once I get over here, I can fish in these shallow ponds all day long with 3 or 4 people. Plenty of room, plenty of space. A very solid, durable boat. As far as the business end of it, it's a light boat. I don't burn a lot of fuel when I make these runs over here. Fairly fast for a boat of this size. A lot of space for kids if you're skiing or fishing or both. This really fits what I need. Cleans up easy, just really practical for what I use it for. This one here, Greg, going around. All right. He looks like he hooked in the corner. Yeah, good. Right off the bottom of the boat.
Spinnerbait fish.
Blade fish, huh? Is that a blade runner?
Basically, we got in a little hive, and there for a second, look, there's some right there. Some kind boiling around. It just seems like we've really gotten an area, you know, where there's a good number of fish.
But I think the tide started moving, and that certainly made a difference. Because our terrain hadn't really changed where we fished. You know, little bayous with secondary pockets, a lot of grass, a lot of points. That hadn't changed. A lot of the areas that we fished were the same, but it seemed that it was a definite difference in the aggressiveness of the fish once the tide started moving a little faster.
Good job, Jared. Pointing him out. There it goes.
I love it when they bite me.
All right, well, basically, this is the same bait as you've seen me throw before on the show, which is a rage blade. Typically, in the past, I've either thrown a gold blade or a silver blade. This particular one here is called the naked rage blade, and it's because it doesn't have any color on the blade. It basically has lead for the weight, but other than that, the blade is clear. And what that allows, you still get that vibration that you would get out of a rage blade or a bladed jig type bait, but you don't get any flash. So you have a lot subtler, you still have the vibration, not quite as much as the metal blade, but you don't have that flash. And so it seemed like, you know, on slick days, the water's real clear, you know, fish are a little finicky. You basically just have a bladed swim bait. And now this is actually comes with the naked blade. This is called a blade minnow. I either like the blade minnow or you know, whatever type of swim bait, cock-a-hoe trailer, whatever you like. And basically all there is to it is a piece of lead. That's basically all you have. You just have the blade, a real good high quality hook, and you basically thread, you know, whatever swim bait trailer you like on the bait. And the bait works equally as well for bass as it does for redfish, but it really just cuts down
and it's just a lot more natural presentation than say you'd get out of a bladed jig or the regular raised blade with the, you know, some days you want that gold flash, silver flash, some days you don't want any. And today it really seems like I started with a pure poison and I actually got bit right off, and after that I've had several to miss it. And now that I've went to the raised blade, you know, those fish are committing because it has that soft swim bait trailer. So it's almost like when they come up and get a feel for it, they go ahead and gulp it. Where that harder bait, wasn't right and they weren't getting it. But that's really it. You know, I typically use mono or fluorocarbon for bass, and definitely on redfish straight braid. Now I noticed, Captain Mike, that you actually look for the tide movement on your GPS unit.
I do have tide charts on my GPS, and that's a big plus. Show me where the tide is within the swing and all the different local stations, because it has my coordinates where I'm at, so it knows which is the closest station to me, and I can keep that one in my favorites list, sort of say, and look at it first. Yeah, you definitely want to watch your tide charts. Louisiana Sportsman has some really good tide charts. Look for the tide in your area, make a mental note of when it should move and when it shouldn't move, and make sure you're in the best areas that you can be when that water's moving. Because they'll certainly just, when they're ready to feed and the tide's moving, it all comes together.
Bait kind of overdoes that action. You know, it's a lot of action.
Pardon me.
I've been rudely interrupted.
Excuse me. Don't make noise.
Over here at Bowie Outfitters, hunting and fishing is our passion. We can help you pick all the right gear for your next fishing trip. We spend time in the woods too, so we know what products to recommend when hunting season comes around. We understand the outdoors and what it takes to have success on your hunting and fishing adventures. So come on down to Bowie Outfitters and let us help get you going. Bowie Outfitters, everything outdoors.
I'm Stephen Parks, and I'd like to introduce you to Blue Wave Boats. It's been founded and owned by the Parks family since 1992. We specialize in building custom, high-performance, quality fishing boats. So there is no more having to settle. Each Blue Wave boat ranks high in every category that matters, from the speed, the quality, the performance, and the features built into the boat. And we've loaded these boats with everything you're going to need to make your day on the water a success every time.
Louisiana Sportsman Magazine. For over 31 years, your source for fishing and hunting information. Each month you will find stories by local experts on everything from bass to redfish to ducks, deer to trout and turkey. We've got incredible local information that you can use immediately to get more success outdoors. You'll also enjoy monthly columns on cooking, the latest lures, GPS locations, shooting, kayaks, and much more. Have Louisiana Sportsman delivered to your house and safe. $24.99 gets you a full year of Louisiana Sportsman. To order today, visit louisianasportsman.com.
Typically when I'm redfishing, I don't make a lot of adjustments. There's so many fish. I mean, this is not like we're going to be around 5 today. We're going to be around 500. And, a lot of times you can just beat through the misses and catch some, Their mouth is on the bottom, and you have to think about that, and we're fishing a bait that's high in the water column. So, him being a bottom feeder, you don't seem to miss as many when the bait is on the bottom, because he is a bottom, his mouth is on the bottom. But, we're making him come up and get the bait. He's not really designed to do that. So, and they can still crush a topwater bait and suck it in their crushers. But, a lot of times just making adjustments. Like, honestly, like I went to that clear bladed rage blade and it seemed real good, and the sun was high and it was slick and I was catching them. But like, since we've been in here and the water's a different color, I honestly feel like the best choice is to go to a gold bladed one. But I'm lazy and I'm not doing that right now because I'm scared I'm gonna miss a cast. But I missed a couple fish in here that I just think that gold blade would look better. It's dark, it's cloudy. I really like gold, when it's like that. We've had a great day. We caught lots of fish. We have lost some. We've heard a lot of great stories. You know, it's been you just really couldn't ask for it to be much better. Now, we've had some downtime when we wouldn't catch them, but we've had those flurries. Seemed like hour flurries. We'd go for an hour when it would, you know, every few minutes we'd catch one or have one on or see one. And that's the other cool thing about them. You can sight fish for them. You know, they're one of the few species that swims by the boat, just swims by, and you can actually pitch a lure right in front of them and they, you know, go right to and bite. Now today, they have been a little finicky because about half the ones we've thrown on that we saw swimming or we saw the push when they're easing down the bank, they haven't been. And some days you'll catch every one of them. And I have actually been on situations where you would spook one with the boat and you just see a wake running and you throw to the end of that wake and by the time the bait gets there, he bites. You know, so they're, you know, weather, water, you know, they're just like any other fish. But they do seem to be most days more aggressive than most species. And I think that's one of the things that makes them, you know, user-friendly. I got it. Oh. Now, are you fishing a braid and leader on that?
I am.
What's the reason for the leader?
I feel that in that instant when the spinner hits the water, that braid will sometimes tangle in the blade. And the mino's a little stiffer. And it just keeps it from tangling. That's all it is. He's a big boy. I don't know if he'll jump. We can try. Come on in here. We crawled him over.
I thought I was gonna have to net him there for a second. You see that line, Jerry? You squeezed right over it. With a little of that adobo. What is it?
Look his tail. Somebody took a bite of him. Oh, he's mad too.
They're everywhere.
Oh, he's mad. Well, he quit pretty soon, didn't he? Look at him. Just lay on the surface. I don't know. He's gonna jump.
The Reds are easy pickings if you can find them in the Biloxi Marsh, and they live here year-round. Join us here next time on Sportsman TV.
The excitement builds for the 2015 CCA Star Tournament. This year's Star is loaded with new ways to win your share of over $1.5 million in prizes, including Tag Trout Division and more paid places for heaviest trout.
Believe it or not, I actually won.
Over 108 days of fishing with over 25 inshore and offshore divisions. We have something for everyone. Be the first to catch a tagged redfish and win a new Chevy Silverado. Enter now for just $30 by registering at ccastar.com. Share in the passion and serve our coast.